recording. And I'm gonna start streaming. Here we go. I actually started a little earlier than expected. Oh, let me make sure the audio is working as intended. Good. Marvelous. Everything is working according to Keikaku. Anyways, hello, my name is Kelsey. I make comics, including webcomics like The Legend of Jamie Roberts, as well as character concept art. Today, we're doing some character concept art. Specifically, if you have watched my channel before, you may have seen me draw character designs for a fighting game that right now is just conceptual. Like, there's no dev team to develop it into an actual fighting game or anything. I'm just making art for an art book to be like, hey, wouldn't this be a neat idea? And just drawing character designs to work with that. So today we will be drawing some more characters in that vein for the fighting game concept. Today's tea selection is chamomile with some honey at the bottom, or as some people like to call it, chamomile. I get a kick out of calling it chamomile. All right. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this live, considering my buddy Ben is also streaming on his channel, and he's doing some token art for a D&D character that he's working on. But I figured I would stream and get this out there into the world. Also, recording this. So, Bree. Sorry, Bree was scratching the walls. Bree. Honey. I do not know where this cat is. Hold on.
I heard you scratching the walls. Yes. Don't you try to argue. Meow. Well, clearly you want to be on camera. So we're getting you on camera. This is the fussy baby.
This little booger was just scratching the walls, demanding attention.
Yep.
It's not torture if she's not running away. You would never guess she was 16 years old.
Boop.
All right, I'm going to put you down. Bree might also be a little bit fussy too, because we recently added some new furniture into the living room. Okay. I don't know how long today's stream is going to be, because some friends are coming over, because this weekend is Pride weekend in Toledo. Huzzah! We're going to be meeting up and heading over. Weather allowing, there were calls for scattered thunderstorms today. I'm hoping that we can actually go and have some fun, because I haven't been to a good Pride event in years. We'll see how long this stream lasts. This character that I am inking in right now is the Puppet Master character in the fighting game roster. So this character would be the one that experienced players would play, because puppet characters, notoriously hard to control, because you're basically controlling two characters at once. Now, the gimmick with this fighting game is that the characters, all of them, are black characters, people of color. And the reason I'm doing that is because a lot of the fighting games that I like, Grace bless them, they're either made up of primarily white characters or Japanese characters, or are read to be Japanese or white. And I wanted to challenge that a little bit. So I'm making this project. Also, as like a proof of concept to be like, hey, there's lots of really cool ways that you can spin this with people of color as the main characters. And I keep coming up with ideas for it too. Like I came up with the idea of incorporating like a goth Lolita character, mostly because I was inspired by a buddy of mine who is a goth Lolita and a person of color. Kudos to her, because that scene has its. I mean, any scene will have race issues. I haven't come across too many of them myself, but I know that she posts about it on occasion on TikTok. Still, though, she loves the scene and she's still involved, and grace bless her for it. But I would like to incorporate a goth Lolita character into the character roster lineup for this fighting game because I think that would be really neat and a nice little homage to a friend of mine. Same thing for, I want to incorporate a character who practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because that's a reference to another friend of mine, Jazz. Jazz, if you're watching this, yes, I want to make a character in homage to you because I think that'd be cool. And also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sounds awesome. I'm going to beef up the hand a little bit here. Yes. Perfect. And I'm actually going to take some creative liberties with the hand here. I'm not going to follow the outline that I drew. Though I am going to rotate this just to make sure the proportions make sense. Wrong direction. There we are. Okay. Fingers are not quite long enough and the thumb is too thick, so we're going to free transform and widen that up a tad. Boom. Okay, and then we're going to shrink down this thumb as well, because that's a bit thick in comparison to the rest of the fingers. It's a bit better. Just polish this up a bit more and yeah, takes care of that hand. Okay. Oh, wrong window. Cool. I got so many windows up. I need to close some of these. Yes, I am adding curves to this particular figure. I feel like that's a little bit more realistic. I'm going to change up that hair, though. I have some ideas of how I can do that. Again, taking some creative liberties with the hand here. Okay. I think I'll take care of the legs first before I get to the hair. Oh, probably the microphone picked up that Discord notification, but that's fine. We'll check it later. Oh, drawing the toes is going to be interesting. Hold on. Let's rotate the canvas. Okay, that's actually not a bad looking foot, to be honest with you. And in fairness, I try to practice feet as often as I can. My sketchbooks can attest to this. I actually want to revisit drawing in my sketchbook again to make notes for things. Lately, I've been just contributing to a bullet journal that I have. I actually have two. One keeps track of my to-do list and my goals for the week and my projects and stuff. The other one is just word vomit for ideas that come to me. And I'm writing spitballed ideas in that second bullet journal as opposed to just writing them in my sketchbook because sketchbooks are not cheap. I mean, nothing's cheap right now, but sketchbooks in particular, not cheap. I did pick up another notebook for bullet journaling purposes yesterday, though, because I'm thinking of starting another journal, because I'm that basic bitch. But not for tracking spitballed ideas or the to-do lists or the projects or anything. No. This other journal would be for tracking the books that I read. Oh, let's rotate this and boom. Okay. Okay. Had to make sure I got those toes correct. Because I've actually been reading a lot more this year, particularly this month. I lost track of how many books that I have finished this month. I think it's upwards of like the double digits, at least 10. But yes, I have been reading a lot more, and I like to journal for like 1 page about my thoughts about a book right after I finish it. And also it's a good way to like prevent book hangovers, you know? Book hangovers being, oh man, I just finished a book. Now I'm going to think about it constantly. Journaling about books helps handle some of that. Okay, now, the idea I had for the hair. Because I know I doodled something in my sketchbook folder here on the hard drive for how to draw hair. There it is, hair texture note. I knew it was floating around here on the hard drive somewhere. There it is. Okay. Because what I want to do is, okay. I was wondering why the layers were split up the way that they were. But I'm going to do this locks texture for the hair on this fighting game character in particular. Keeping it over there so that I have some form of reference. And okay. We're going to do a brush texture. We're going to go with maybe bit husky? No. Rough? Let's try rough. And let's enlarge the brush tip a bit. Yes! That is what I wanted. Cool. Oh, you know what? Let's actually put Ink's hair on a separate layer. I am really liking how this is turning out. So far, not quite done yet. Okay, I was just checking on the chat, making sure everything's all hunky-dory. So far, so good. Oh, look at that! I love it! It's so cute. Alright, we're going to switch back to the pen tool so that I can finish up this cloth. Yeah. Might do a variant costume design for this particular character because that's a lot of bare legs. I actually had to think pretty hard about the concept for this character. My original concept was to incorporate the flute dancers and these grass spirit dancers from the Bois people, and then I went, nope, really should not do that, should not draw a direct reference to these people because that particular grass spirit is actually relatively important to the indigenous people of that area. Don't want to incorporate that to like don't want to throw that in there as a direct reference. I will do a homage, but I didn't want to reference it directly. Okay, now we can X out of that window because we got the hair down the way that we wanted it to. Cool. And oh, refer, and boom, got the shadow going. Speaking of shadows, I'm actually going to lasso around this area. Whoop. Turn the pencils off for further layers. Boom. Okay. My upstairs neighbors are being very noisy today. That helps. The shadow there, that back part, that helps. Bringing the pencil layer back up. Okay, now that's spirit. That spirit I actually want to tackle in a different way. So we got the inks for main character. Inks, we're actually going to rename this layer to MC Hair and make a new layer. Whoop. Inks, spirit body, because we're going to color this in one color and then we're going to change the layer effect in an effort to make it glow. So I'll make it kind of a teal blue. Yeah. Always opt for smooth lines when you can. Let's actually move the inks for this character down a bit. Boom. And redraw this. We're gonna give them a proper mohawk type of look. I'm going to turn that pencil layer off for a second. That's... okay, that's a bit more dome-like. Rather than egg-shaped. Okay. You know, I just had this thought. I had given myself a date to start a new project, but I think I'm actually going to start this new project tomorrow, and I'm going to stream it on Instagram. And I'll get into why tomorrow. But just had that thought about doing an Instagram stream tomorrow, so definitely going to do that. It'll be a traditional art stream, so I'll be like drawing on the drafting table over here. Part of a new project that I wanted to work on for a little while. If you sat through the comic convention at home stream, you may have heard me reference this. I want to do a painting series for dragons in lieu of how some of the sketches came out in Dragons a Sketchbook. I want to revisit that series and make some more in that vein. To do that, though, it's a traditional art series, which would mean not drawing in Clip Studio Paint. It would mean drawing on the drafting table. And that sort of thing is more suited for streaming on Instagram than it is anywhere else. Okay. Oh, wrong window. Okay. I think there's a good place to stop with the scales around the head, at least for now. Otherwise, that can take forever. And I still gotta outline the rest of the body. Going with almost Slender Man proportions over here for this fella. And big old hands, because we're talking about a spirit here. Okay. Oop. Oh, nope. Well, let's move this spirit inks to below the main character inks. Save our progress so far. Always save your progress, kids. Ah! Hello, Carlos. I see you have joined us in the chat. Glad to have you, my dude. Yes, this spirit does have some mighty big hands. In fact, they might be just a bit too big. I'll leave it there for now, though, because spirit doesn't have to be proportional. Okay, I did not outline the hand on this side. I don't know why Past Me did not do that, but challenge accepted, I suppose. Boom! Okay, that takes care of those. Let's see what changing the layer properties of this does. What if we did lighten? Oh, that just frickin' disappears. Never mind. Screen? Oh! We're gonna go with screen for now. I really like that. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like... woo. Very woo. Really like how that turned out, actually. Not gonna lie. So, okay. Ooh. With that, let's group the inks real quick before I... Oh, shoot. Never mind. Doing that actually changes the inks for the spirit body, so we'll just group the inks for the main character here. Boom. Okay, and then the inks for the spirit body can be their own separate things so that the screen effect can still take place. And we're gonna make a new layer, and we're gonna call this glow. Yeah, okay. I'm actually gonna use the wand tool for a second to select around. Okay, what did the wand tool select? Oh, darn it, I think it selected everything. Hold on. Let's go back into the spirit body inks and make this a little bit more prominent here. Just so the wand tool doesn't freak out. I'm going to close up some gaps here. Sweet. Oh, let's close up the gaps around the feathers, just in case. Man, everybody want to talk to me on Discord. I do not know what's going on, man. Cool. Ghosty Ghoulie and Long-Armed Beastie is mostly tackled. Let's see what the wand tool does. Okay, selects around the, at least this part. Let's see what happens. Oop. Maybe invert selection. Oh, I forgot to change the ink, the layers back to glow. Nope. Okay. Where is the gaps? I know there's a gap in here somewhere. It's just a matter of where do I need to close it? Now let's go back to what I was doing. Because I was going to select the areas around the Long-Armed Beastie to invert the selection, and then color is needed. Okay, we're gonna invert the selection and we'll see what that does. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, whoops. Ba-da-ba-da. There's a gap somewhere. It's just a matter of I do not know where. Maybe if I make this gray layer just a smidge darker. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Yeah, making that background darker did help. Thank goodness. Boop. Sometimes you just gotta up the contrast, man. Boop. Oh, yeah. And we're actually gonna put this there. Okay, let me get a larger brush size going to go over these outlines in this layer. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna make a new layer and we're gonna put the shadows on the main character before we do anything else. Multiply. 35% opacity, because that's my usual go-to when it comes to shadow layers. Is to just put it on multiply. I think there are other artists who put it to overlay, but I think overlay does a different effect. Very black light effect. Yes, indeed. Very black light. Okay, now for the shades, because the spirit is already kind of a green color, we'll have the shadows be a little bit more on the blue. Boom. Oh, I missed some spots in the glow layer. Hold on. Because the hair is so curly, there are gaps. Gotta fill in the gaps over here. Okay, you don't have to fill in all of them, but enough. It got dark here all of a sudden. I mean, there's still some decent natural light, but there is a part of me that wants to turn on a lamp on the side. Screw it, I'm gonna turn on a side lamp. Give me a sec. Okay. That hurts my eyes less. I could probably switch over to, because these are my usual vision glasses. I actually have a set of blue light glasses here. These don't affect how colors are perceived too much, to be perfectly honest with you. Though every once in a while I'll have to be like, to take a look at the colors. Cool. All right. Back to the shadows, to this blue color. And because of the spirit's glow, the lighting on this character is going to look very different compared to the other characters in the roster. Oh, I forgot to change the bucket settings there. Changed them back. Moses Supposes is stuck in my head because somebody on a Discord server shared a link to there's this animation of a little ghost dancing with some tap dancing shoes to Moses Supposes. It's adorable, but now Moses Supposes is stuck in my head, and I'm just like, really? Slowly getting better at muscles. Deltoids are a lot more complicated than you think they are. Pro tip for anybody who wants to get better at drawing muscles, particularly male muscles. Start following bara artists. Artists who draw bara, which is beefy, muscly men. Yes, you may get a lot of gay art, but those boys know how to draw muscles. Shaboom. There. I wanted to tackle the fingers separate from the rest of the arm, since they're finer digits. There we go, tackling the shin, different from the rest of the leg. Oh, if you don't follow me on Instagram or YouTube, I highly recommend checking out my Instagram and YouTube pages. The social media links are actually on my Ko-fi, which is on the screen right now. I posted a new video earlier today, and I'm so pleased with how it came out. Not only that, I'm just so pleased that it's done. Because I've had that project on the back burner for a while, and I wasn't sure that I was going to get it done before the end of the year. I got it done before my birthday. That is a win for me. I do really like how it turned out, too. And lots of my buddies really like how it turned out, too. Shout out to Carlos for signal boosting it. Also, shout out to my buddy Hunter, co-host of The Fourth Leg, for his kind words on our Discord server. Because I definitely shared this on the Discord server. I was like, I dedicated so much of my life to this video. Do I regret it? No. In fact, if anything, I want to do more videos like that one. I really like how it turned out. Because I want to tackle the rest of that leg differently from the thigh. We're going to do this. Okay. Yeah. I like playing around with lighting effects in character designs like this one. Ooh. Cool. That takes care of the shadows for this character. I think I'm going to not tackle shadows on the spirit character. We'll take care of him in a minute. While I'm looking at the Ko-fi link that's on the screen right now, I'll go ahead and take a second to make an announcement here. So, for folks who were following my Ko-fi page, or anybody who has checked out my YouTube channel or anything else, and you tried to click on Ko-fi on Wednesday and Thursday, you might have had a little bit of a pickle getting that link to work. That's because Ko-fi unpublished my page for a little bit. The reason they did that is because apparently male nipples are too spicy for Ko-fi. So, unfortunately, because of that, I'm restructuring how Ko-fi and Patreon work. And for the time being, if you want to support The Legend of Jamie Roberts, my webcomic, do so over on Patreon. I mean, I'll still accept monthly subscriptions on Ko-fi, but if you want to see the behind-the-scenes stuff for The Legend of Jamie Roberts, go to my Patreon page instead. And the Patreon page will be linked on my website. My website is just kelseydcrawford.com. I think I also link it on Ko-fi. If it's not there, my website is certainly linked on Ko-fi, and you can find my Patreon that way as well. But if you go to patreon.com/KelseyDCrawford, you'll find me there. Oh, looking at the comments. Would male pasties be called masties? Asking the real questions here. I feel like they would be... My first thought was pails, and I'm like, that is not right. Probably masties. Muscle mammary. Still can't get over muscle mammary. But yeah, a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff for The Legend of Jamie Roberts is going to Patreon for the foreseeable future, because last week's page with the male nipples is not going to be the last time that you see male nipples in that webcomic. There's going to be some male nudity, non-sexual nudity, and I do my best to, like, tastefully cut so that you don't see any wangs or anything, but there's going to be butts, there's going to be male nipples. Like, that's just going to be a thing in The Legend of Jamie Roberts, and that's not going away anytime soon. So, for the foreseeable future, I'm moving behind-the-scenes content for The Legend of Jamie Roberts to Patreon. And I'll clarify that in next week's live stream. And I can add some more links that way. You know, let's actually see if we can... Properties? Boom! We'll add that there, and we'll shrink this down a wee bit so that you can still see what I'm drawing, but it's still legible. There we are. Do I want to move it down to... Nah. We'll keep it up in this upright corner. Boom. That said, though, I will go ahead and move this window capture down a scotch. Doing this live. Okay. Cool. Control-Z works in OBS as well. Sweet. Okay. I'll get a proper overlay figured out at some point. Just not today. That'll probably be a next week project. Okay, so we got the shades going. Let's get some color flats. Turn that shade layer off so that I can see what I'm coloring. Okay. Now I have color, like skin color references in The Legend of Jamie Roberts, so I'm gonna go into that folder and bring up the color palette for a hot second. There we are. Okay. I had to think for a second what color I wanted to go with. I think I'll do this one. Honestly, I think black elves are cool. And obviously Naughty Dog thought the same thing, because of the character Sig, or Sid. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm pretty sure it's Sig from Jack 2 and Jack 3. Because that video game series incorporated black elves before it became a controversy in fucking 2022. Naughty Dog ahead of the curve in that regard. But I wanted to make this person an elf because I just think that's cool. Coloring in any gaps, making sure that I got everything. Marvelous. We're going to enlarge in the brush here, and we're going to color in some gaps in the hair with a darker brown color. Covering our bases, coloring in those faces. Making a song as I color. Didn't like how that turned out, so we're gonna erase, we're gonna try again, we're gonna color until it looks okay. I don't know what I'm doing. We'll do it that way. We'll do it that way. Yeah. Cool. Save our progress. This character's almost done. Holy dang. Honestly, having the pencils done ahead of time is really nice. Okay, just catching up on some things. Okay, and... Okay, for color purposes, and I'll explain my reasoning in a second, I'm going to make the top a kind of an orange color and then the bottom an indigo color, and I'll explain why in a second. Sorry, I just realized how much the UV light blocking glasses affected color choices, so I'm just going to... Okay. Oh, I forgot to shrink the brush down. Get that back to 20. I had it at like 44. That was entirely too big. Okay, now the color indigo. About there-ish. That's better, I think. Yes, that's better. Excuse me.
I was just wondering where Boo was.
Oh. Our fur babies like to hide. Actually, let me reference the color wheel for a second. Because we have... Okay. Alright. So if we're going with kind of a violet blue as our base, our complement is yellow-orange, which we already have. If we're going with like a split complementary, we could do a orange-yellow or a straight-up orange. Let's do orange-yellow. Oh, that's too bright. Nope. Nope. Actually, I might be able to make this just a tad darker. Yeah. The color wheel. It comes in so much handier than you think it does. Let's actually change the color of the mask here to more of a yellow-green color. A little darker than that. Okay. Because like a yellow-green is more of a split complementary of indigo here. And I want indigo to be like... I don't necessarily want the indigo to be the focal color, but I do want this to be an important aspect of the color here. Because indigo is a color that I wrote an entire senior thesis about when I was in school. So the color indigo is actually a very important color to the Dogon people of Mali, but also the people before the Dogon, whom they call the Telem. The Telem were the ones who used indigo cloth first. And indigo cloth is basically cloth with indigo, dyed with indigo. And if I remember this correctly, the indigo cloth for the Telem people was used as a funeral shroud, so they would wrap their dead with indigo cloth. The Dogon people did continue that tradition for a bit, but then it slowly transitioned to, and this is what they use indigo cloth for this day and age, is a cloth that they lay down as the woman is giving birth. Because, and this was my argument in my senior thesis, the color indigo references the spirit world. The Telem people would use indigo cloth to be like, the soul is departing into the spirit world. The Dogon people use indigo to say, the woman is pulling a soul out from the spirit world and bringing it into this one. So indigo, very spiritual color, at least in Dogon and Telem culture. And I wanted to continue that. But also, indigo cloth, aside from it looking cool, is also kind of a reference to a fantasy novella that I am making, which also has elf people who wear indigo cloths as loincloths for their holy people. The indigo cloth is like, well, the indigo loincloths are a signifier of, in that culture, in this culture of elves and stuff that I've created, a reference to somebody who has taken a vow of chastity. Because their spirits belong with their chosen goddesses, does not belong in the material plane. Or at least that's where their bodies and souls are dedicated to. In the culture that I made up. And I was like, this would be a good homage to that for this character design. Okay, we're going to turn the shade layer back on. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to go into this layer. We're going to make a new layer, and we're going to call it highlights. And we're going to set that to screen. Wait, not screen. Overlay. Actually get the brush pen going for this one. Uh, 35. Nope, 40. Okay, we'll do 40. But now you know something about the significance of indigo cloth for certain cultures. You're welcome. I actually had seriously considered submitting my senior thesis into a scholarly magazine to be like, this is my argument, but I did not do that because I don't know. I think at the time I was like, I'm not African art history majory enough to submit this, but now in retrospect, I'm like, why didn't you submit that? Because that would be cool to be like, yes, I wrote a thing and it got published in a scholarly paper, because that would be a really cool thing. I think, anyway. Not what I wanted. Also, not what I wanted. What the frick? There. Don't like that. Dope. And yeah. Coolios. Let's add a little bit more around this hand. Ooh, in the back. Cannot forget this back here. Doperinos. Hmm. Trying to think of how to address the darker outlines whenever I turn that gray layer off. Turn off the highlights, turn off the glow. Okay. It pertains to the glow layer. Got it. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to use the wand tool and we're going to select around this spirit here. That too, and we are going to invert the selection And refer only to this layer, and bam. Okay. Let's actually get a bigger brush going. Because with that wand tool, I can actually color in the areas that I want and go as wide with my strokes as I want without fear of messing anything else up. This character's just about done, yo. Oh, I don't need this reference, so I can close that window. Oh, that's just the hair. That's just the curls. I was a bit concerned that I missed coloring in a section, but no, it's just hair. Now this may look very different when I turn the wand effect off, but... Boop. Okay. Okay. Did the trick. It did the trick that I wanted it to. Now I think... if I change it back to normal, what does that do? Oh, okay, it doesn't. What about overlay? Ooh. I think I like that better than the original screen effect. Yeah, we'll leave it there. And we'll save our progress. And that character is done. Sweet. Okay, well, we will save this. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna put a watermark on this before I forget. Whoop. Okay, and done. Sweet. Watching videos about people redesigning baseball leagues using MLB 21 is always interesting because you can see layouts and structures. Sorry, I'm just now getting around to looking at the chat. Yeah, I think actually I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I know this is like early, and especially in comparison to some of the other streams that I've done, but you know, aside from waiting for a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, to arrive so we can kick off a party, it's also like I really just want to enjoy some time off. And also I want to enjoy some of the wins that I have achieved this past week, because I have achieved a lot. I finished that video and posted it today. Did a whole bunch of stuff earlier this week. Even though the Ko-fi page had gotten taken down, I put it back up. I did what I needed to do to get it back to being published. It's back to being published now, thank goodness. Oh gosh, what else did I do? I know I did a whole bunch. Made more comics pages, I can tell you that. Oh yeah, scheduled appointments that I needed to. Took care of some other off-screen stuff. Oh, members of my Patreon page, the stickers for the Art of the Month Club are printed and they're trimmed. Now it's a matter of getting the cards ready to mail those out. And that's coming next. So, they're printed and trimmed. Did that this week. Oh, and now I only have 2 pages left to ink for a anthology project that I'm a part of. So that's exciting. Finished a cover art thing. Yes. There's a whole bunch. I also did some behind the scenes stuff for a new website that I'm about to launch. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I just wanna celebrate that, man. Like, I'm gonna log off and enjoy that. There will be more character art, I promise you. Next week I will be streaming again Tuesday and should be Saturday. I'm going to double check that. Let me get my calendar app on my phone real quick. Because I don't want to promise something and then renege on it. Let's see. Yeah. I can stream next Saturday, the 27th. So I am streaming again the 23rd and the 27th. That's a Tuesday and a Saturday, 2 p.m. EST on both days. Yeah. And I'm going to see about doing a Instagram live stream tomorrow. Because why not? It'll probably be either early in the morning or later in the afternoon, though, because I have a podcast recording, like, in the beginning part of the day. The life that I lead. Anyway, yeah. That's exciting. Also, my birthday is coming up on Wednesday. Yay! I am another year older. And boy, does my body feel like it. So that is it for now. Tune in next week, Tuesday, the 23rd. And that, yes, that is the day before my birthday. But tune in again Tuesday, the 23rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you caught only the tail end of this live stream, don't worry, I'll be posting the recording of this up on my YouTube channel. If you like what you saw and you would like to support more art and more streams, you can make a one-time donation at ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. You can subscribe monthly at patreon.com/Kelsey D. Crawford. Definitely check out Patreon for more male nipples like you see on the screen right now. I think I'm going to add more hair on this guy's body now that I'm looking at it. Anyway, yeah. Let's actually pull up the art that I just finished just so we can revel in how good it looks. Look at that. So pretty. Oh my god. I love how that turned out. Oh my gosh. That turned out even better than I thought it would. Woo! Okay. Sorry, I just saw some people walking by my window. They looked like they were getting ready to head out for a party. They looked fabulous. So, party time. It is about time that I log off. Come in next week, same channel, Tuesday, 2 p.m. EST. If you missed the Tuesday stream, I will be streaming again Saturday. So next week, Saturday at 2 p.m. EST. Support me through the links on the screen. If you want to check out my other work, head to kelseydcrawford.com. Yeah. I usually plug my webcomic, but I'm already kind of babbling. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. You are awesome.